This year, the theme of the festival is sincerity, and today, 22nd February's theme is the power of Mahakali. Today, we are going to talk about the residential zone. In this session, we seek to understand the mighty force and strength of Mahakali required to manifest the residential zone. The development is primarily limited to residential community buildings, community meeting spaces, creches, and young age group educational needs, work studios, first aid centers, parks, playgrounds, landscape elements, eco-friendly parking areas, kiosks, and convenience stores, with the additional possibility of small handicraft atelier. So we have Sindhuja from ATDC, and we have Neel, we have Manu, and we have Anton. I would like. Okay, so I would request you guys to briefly give a little intro about what do you think residential zone is according to you. What is why did mother, she made a drawing of Auroville and she made 4 zones and prominently it featured residential zone. What do you think was her aspiration of having a very specific dedicated residential zone? And I would like you to touch upon the individual and the collective aspirations or what is her advice for us new Aurovillians?
So, as far as my understanding goes, mother invited people from all walks of life, of all color, creed, religion, to come and live together.
Right.
Right. So it could have been, the invite could have been just to come and work together. Right. So this could be a commercial hub or industrial hub where people from all over the world come and just work together.
Special economic zone.
Could be. So just to look at or to understand perhaps why this invite to come and be here.
Okay.
So when you be here, that's when we can rub each other positively.
Right.
So unless we really eat together, live together, are able to understand why some people are some way and some people are some other way, and that both are acceptable in this large dance of life. So this acceptance is what is right now missing in the world, and to make that happen, us cohabiting is one of the most important parts. Right. And even going back a little bit to, let's say, our yogis who used to disappear to the Himalayas, and Sri Aurobindo saying and deciding very clearly not to do that, but to come back and live with us, and ground things into the ground and say there is no other heaven, but the heaven needs to be created here. I think it all stems back to even things like that, where this thing of pulling us all together and putting us in a churn. So the galaxy is also a churn, a symbol perhaps of the Samudra Manthan. Right. So I kind of perceive it this way, that it's a place where we are going to mix and see what a 50,000 people population, what it can achieve. Actually none of us know. When 50 of us vibrate and thrive together, live together, what that can do is not something that there's any history of. Right. So we are expectantly pregnant with possibilities of what this could enable. And that's why I think we are all here. So on the macro level. On the micro, residential zone starts actually, I don't want to go as far as the womb, but when you put a window seat or a chair next to a bed, you can start having a conversation. No two people can have a conversation sitting with their back against a headboard of a bed. So in the bedroom, you create the first social space. Right, and that social space is about 2 people being able to engage with each other. Right, sometimes it's a new marriage, right? And you get to know each other. And where do you know? And how do you know? Unless you start to interact. So that social space starts right there. Then it becomes that space in the living room perhaps, where, or a kitchen where 2, 3, 4 people can work together. Right now, we have identified the cooking as something which has to be done. The person who's cooking is to be the one who is punished. You have to face a wall and cook. Right? Now, some people turned it around, made it into an island.
Yeah.
And the island is actually supposed to invite more people to work. Right? And so, we need the cave and we need these social spaces, starting with that chair, starting with that island, starting with the living room where the TV doesn't become the most important part of the space, but actually being able to see each other's faces and be able to talk about something, sometimes, curt, sometimes you need to point out something. And you can't do that when you are not connected in a good social space. Right, so I should be able to put my hand around her if I want to tell her something which is curt. So social spaces are like that. This is one. The amphitheater that we are going to enjoy in some days is another. Right, and all of them have different scales and have a different purpose. So we needed to gather so many people, so we chose this hall.
Right.
We would choose some other place for something else. So in a city right up to a large Maidan, where Auroville can invite 5 villages representatives, and it could then become, let's say, 2 lakh people. So in my mind, I would envision that there should be a stadia where 2 lakh people can also gather. Because that is the connect and the reach that we want this place to happen. Apart from walking into Matre Mandir as a contrast, going up that ramp and being perhaps yourself or trying to dissolve yourself. So that is the 2 extremes that I see
The possibility.
as a possibility. It's all there in the plans. We just need to, start to not just realize it and use it. Perhaps like you are making an effort now, let's start using it to realize it. Because it needs just a tree and a stone and a little depression to start to define a space. It doesn't really need structures and concrete to really define spaces.